Doctors couldn't stop crying when they realized how this baby was born. My baby was born with 2 heads, mother's relief as giant growth on her son's shoulder is found to be a cyst. Harry Barron Edgley, now 1, was born with a huge fluid-filled lump. His mother, Ellie Wellman-Smith, initially thought he had 2 heads. Harry had to have surgery to remove the non-cancerous growth. He is now healthy but currently has restricted movement in his shoulder. Ms. Wellman-Smith says she's pleased she chose not to have pregnancy scans as she fears she would have been advised to have an abortion. Ellie Wellman-Smith, 20, said when Harry, now 1, was born he had such a large growth on his shoulder, prompting fears her son had a second head. But after surgery to remove the fluid-filled growth, Harry is now a healthy toddler. Ms. Wellman-Smith said she is glad she chose not to have routine pregnancy scans, which could have led doctors to offer her a termination. When Harry Barron Edgley was born he had a lymphatic malformation, a fluid-filled lump just under the skin. Ms. Wellman-Smith said, lymphatic malformations can sometimes indicate lots of other problems including chromosomal abnormalities. I probably would have been told that termination was an option. I'm so lucky to be here. But there'll always be anger that. As it is, Harry is a lively, wonderful, healthy child. He can eat, he can play, he can mess around with his brother and enjoy life. Single parent Ms. Wellman-Smith, a former financial services advisor, was initially shocked when Harry was born with the large growth after a 15-hour labor. She said, "I said aloud what I thought, it looked just like a second head." When he was 2 months old, Harry had surgery to remove the growth and he is now a healthy 1-year-old. Harry's mother, Ellie Wellman-Smith, 20, says that when Harry was born she initially thought he had 2 heads. Ms. Wellman-Smith says she chose not to have any pregnancy scans and that she is now pleased she made this decision as she fears she would have been advised to terminate the pregnancy. Ms. Wellman-Smith says she chose not to have any pregnancy scans and that she is now pleased she made this decision as she fears she would have been advised to terminate the pregnancy. I was worried it was some kind of cancer. If you see a cyst or a lump on anyone's body, that's what naturally comes to mind. After I'd gone through the surprise, I had an instinct that Harry would be all right. I didn't panic, I knew he would be fine. She was able to take Harry home for 3 weeks as doctors decided on the best course of action. Containing clear fluid. It appears as a lump just under the skin, often in the neck or armpit. It occurs when the lymph vessel fails to form correctly during the early weeks of pregnancy. Most do not need treatment other than careful cleaning to prevent infection. However, they might need treatment if they interfere with breathing or feeding or if they are large and restrict movement. There are a number of different treatment options including surgery. A specialist surgeon at Birmingham Children's Hospital eventually removed the huge cyst in a series of operations when Harry was 8 weeks old. Ms. Wellman-Smith, from Corby, in Northamptonshire, said, "It was impossible to get t-shirts over him, and his head would always slump forward when he was sitting upright because the cyst was too heavy. At first we were told that Harry could have injections which would stabilize the growth, and it would become less noticeable as he grew up. I was devastated. I worried about bullying at school and how he would cope with his first nights out in town as a teenager, all the day-to-day challenges he would face. The surgery was risky. There was a 30% chance of damage to the nerve that controls Harry's shoulder. But I was determined to do the right thing with him." Harry's wound became infected after the operation and required 4 more surgeries during his month-long hospital stay. Wellman-Smith, who also has a 2-year-old son, Billy, was finally able to take Harry home when he was 3 months old. She said, "It's been a wonderful journey. When you take care of a child with health issues, your whole life changes. The things you were worried about in your old life seem completely ridiculous." Mrs. Wellman-Smith said, "Harry is a lively, adorable, healthy child. He can eat, he can play with his brother and enjoy life. Since the tumor was removed, Harry has restricted his shoulder movement and this is being investigated." Ms. Wellman-Smith said she was worried Harry had cancer when she saw the tumor and was relieved to know that wasn't the case. Harry is photographed after surgery. "I chose not to have a scan for 12 weeks when I was pregnant because I don't care whether Harry has any disabilities or not, and I'm really glad I didn't change my mind. I could imagine other families of children with lymphatic abnormalities going through screening and being given a list of all the serious health problems they might indicate, and thinking that the risks to the child's quality of life were too great. It's easy to see how the temptation can end, and try again for a healthy baby." Mrs. Wellman-Smith said, "Harry is hilarious. He is the most dangerous 1-year-old you will ever meet. He imitates his older brother in all his rude behavior. The photo shows the cyst in preparation for surgery. After the cyst was removed, Harry became infected and had to undergo 4 more surgeries. Harry is now on a special diet to regulate the lymphatic fluid in his body and has some movement issues in his right shoulder which are currently being investigated. Mrs. Wellman-Smith celebrated her son's first birthday on May 2nd with a party asking friends and supporters for donations to Birmingham Children's Hospital. She said, "Harry is funny. He's the most dangerous 1-year-old you'll ever meet. He imitates his older brother in all his deceitful behavior. I am very happy that he is with us."